Welcome into post-race conversations here from EchoPark Speedway. Tanner Marlar alongside Stephen Stumpf. After the Quaker State 400 saw Chase Elliott take the win tonight, the hometown hero brought it home for the state of Georgia here in Atlanta. Stephen, first of all, just off the rip, how big of a win is this for Chase Elliott?
Well, if you heard the crowd reaction, I've been doing these races for about 3 years now, and that's definitely the loudest post-race cheers I've ever heard. So, but beyond that, it's also huge for him because it had been more than a year since his last win. The 9 team, he has been really consistent, but they just haven't shown the speed a lot of times. But he's always been great at super speedways. Atlanta, he won here in 2022 in dominant fashion. He was one of the best cars left after that big wreck, which we will get into explaining later. And, got to make the last lap pass for the win, his 20th of his Cup career, and now he's second in points.
Second place in points, and that's a huge deal in and of itself. But the big storyline coming out of this race, I feel like, is going to be the accident early on that really took out half of the field. And when I'm not exaggerating, took out nearly 23 cars. At least 23 cars were involved and really hampered a lot of guys from finishing well.
Yeah. We were both at the care center, and it was like when we thought, okay, everyone that's going to come in is coming. Nope, someone else is riding a golf cart to the care center. Someone else is riding the golf cart coming to the care center. Push gone wrong from John Nemechek to Denny Hamlin on the backstretch. Takes out pretty much again. It didn't take out the entire field, but like even the cars that were able to continue, they had a ton of damage as well, and they were kind of crippled for the rest of the day. But like, and if we're thinking about the wreck, this is the first round of the new in-season challenge, and Denny Hamlin's out, William Byron's out, Joey Logano's out, Ryan Blaney's out, Chase Briscoe's out, Kyle Larson's out. And, the
list goes on.
The list goes on, and it's like, it's not surprising to see that this was going to be big on upsets. But, I think the later rounds of this are going to suffer now that all those names are gone. Oh, and Christopher Bell as well.
Christopher Bell also out. And that kind of, for me, brings into the question of, was this the right race to start this in-season tournament at? Now, again, if the goal is to shake things up and have a lot of these upsets, then the goal has been accomplished. But it makes me wonder about how much thought went into it. Not saying that none did, but this is an unpredictable place.
Yeah, I think it would have been better as like the second or third round. You'd have 16 or 8 drivers, and so that way it's not just all 32, and it's like kind of everyone going in blind, not knowing what's going to happen. But I do think, that said, I do think it's still going to lead to some fun moments. After all, Ty Dillon post-race finished 8th. He was the 32 seed against the 1 seed Hamlin. And he said, hey, Denny fans, I knocked out your favorite driver.
He did. Not pulling any punches.
Nope.
But that crash also, as it usually does, let a lot of drivers who typically wouldn't be running so high have really solid finishes on the night. My mind goes immediately to BJ McLeod, who brings it home in 16th tonight after qualifying well today. Got a little bit dusted up in that large accident, but was able to keep it together and had a pretty fast car. We talked to him after the race, and he said he really likes where that team Live Fast is at. He really likes what they're working on. He also said he wants to race until he's 50. So who knows? I think we've got a lot of scheduling left for BJ McLeod.
Yes, and to add to that, Connor Zilic comes home 11th, his best ever Cup, nearly a top 10 in his third ever Cup start. Avoided the wreck, talked about the race and said that, it felt like drivers were more and more trusting of him and his skills as the race went on. Great result for that team, especially considering that Trackhouse, their 3 full-time cars all got caught up in messes.
Yeah, and, for Zilic, you have to think about how much more comfortable he's getting in this Cup car. Now he's ran the road courses. Here he is at a super speedway. He ran Charlotte. Really, the only thing left is a lot of short track racing, and he'll have hit pretty much all the high points.
Yes, indeed. And also, shout out to Cody Ware, finished 13th.
Cody Ware did bring it home 13th.
And then obviously Zane Smith 7th, Ricky Stennis Jr. 6th, and they didn't just finish top 10. They were legitimate factors for the win, and it's like, as the race went on, what made it fascinating is the fact that at one point, I think with about 50 laps to go, the top 17 had not won a single race this year.
Yeah.
So this was going to shake up the playoff. This was going to shake up the playoff race in some way. And I mean, it really didn't in the end, because Chase Elliott is now second in points. It's kind of like the cut line didn't really move, but
But we did get ever closer to that infamous 16 winners mark.
Yes. I believe now we are at 12, and but so many drivers had a chance to win. Like, think about Brad Keselowski was 30th in points, led 46 laps. He was leading coming to the white flag, just as he was in 2023, and both times he got passed. So unfortunate. That was an unfortunate, loss for him. And like we said, Zane Smith 7th, Stenhouse 6th, Eric Jones 5th. Even Alex Bowman 3rd. He's above the cut, but he's it's not comfortable by any means. It's
Absolutely not.
All these guys. This was the prime opportunity to turn their season around, especially when a lot of the big names, especially Penske and Josh Berry, they've dominated these races, and all 4 of them were out by lap 69.
Yeah, it was a rough day for Team Penske. But that's all the time we've got here on Post-Race Conversations from Atlanta. We will see you guys next week in Chicago for the 3rd installment of the street race. Signing off.
My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel partner of Frontstretch. With plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels, My Place makes for the perfect pit stop when traveling. Frontstretch fans can use promo code FRONTSTRETCH to save 10% on your stay at any of our nationwide properties. Sign up for our Stay Rewarded program to get even more savings. With My Place Hotels, don't just stay rewarded.
Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Come back more for some great racing video content. And if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.